Hi, my name's Lee Matthews and I'm a physiotherapist, and this is Pilates Rehab Relax. So don't forget to click the like button and subscribe for all of my latest content. So today I'm going to start you off on step 1 of my Rehab Staircase. So this is a graded exercise program. It's aimed at people that might not have been able to do the things they want to, and they're looking to try and find a gentle series of exercises that progressively build them towards their normal levels of activity. So this is the earliest step 1, which is all bed exercises. If you're already too good for that, it might be that you jump to step 2 or step 3. Step 2 is just chair-based exercises, and then step 3 is some chair-based exercise and some with the support of a chair in standing. So you start at a point that's right for you, and don't forget it's okay to do the easier ones first, and if you feel okay then you can always progress afterwards, because sometimes we think, oh well, that'll be too easy, and then you actually find it's a lot more challenging. And I'd much rather know that you did a little bit of exercise each day, gradually building on it, and then eventually progressing to the next step. So, step 1's an okay place to start if you're uncertain. So I'm doing this on an exercise mat on the floor. For a lot of you at home, I think the safest place is going to be doing them on your bed. So if you've got a nice soft bed, maybe take the duvet cover back so you've just got the mattress, but don't get on the floor if you're not really sure whether you can get off of it, and safety is always going to be the most important thing here. Right, so the first exercise we're going to do is some ankle pumps. So you can either be in long sitting or you can be laying down for this one. I'm going to use my stopwatch. There's 10 exercises and we're going to aim to do 1 minute of each of them. For some of you, it might be that you just start with half a minute. So what I'll do, I'll time a minute on my phone, and for some of you I'll call it out for half a minute, and if you just want to start with the half a minute mark, then that's fine as well. So the first one we're going to do, pointing our toes away from us and then pulling those toes towards you. So we're working those ankle muscles. So here we go, ready, steady, go. So you work at your pace and you do what feels right for you, but we just want to start getting some movement there, don't we? And these muscles are going to be important when we get back up on our feet a bit more. So if we can do this now, it's going to help with our circulation, it's going to build up some muscle strength, and it's going to stop those joints in our ankle and feet getting stiff and tight in the meantime. So we're nearly at the half a minute point. There you go, so that's half a minute, but for the rest of you, keep on going, and we'll go for that full minute if we can. So you'll probably feel this in your calf muscles by now, and maybe on the front of your shins as well there. But it's going to do us some good. Nearly there, just a few more seconds. And you might be sat up resting against your bed when you're doing this, so you don't need to be sitting up independently. There you go. So that's a minute of our first exercise, which was ankle pumps. We're now going to go on to do some exercise for the front of the thigh there. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to tense up my knee, tense up that thigh muscle. So I'm pushing my knee down into the bed or into the mat, and I'm also pulling my toes towards me at the same time. So you can either do that in sitting or you can do it laying down flat. So I really don't mind how you choose to go about it. I think laying down flat might be more comfortable. I'm going to bend the other knee though, so that I don't put any undue stress and strain on my back. And what we do, we're going to do 30 seconds on one side. So this is a static quads exercise. So here we go. So we tense up that thigh muscle, pull the toes towards you and hold for about 5 seconds, and then relax. And we'll do one side for 30 seconds, and then we'll do the other side for 30 seconds. So again, tense up and hold and squeeze. And you count to about 5. And then relax. And don't forget, if you get good with these but you don't feel ready for the next step, you could always do more than a minute of them, because we're only going to do half a minute on each side. There you go, so that's 30 seconds. So if we swap over legs, same on the opposite side there. So again, I'll start the stopwatch, you tense up that other leg, toes towards you, and then relax again. And keep on going. So you work at your pace. But we just want to, again, keep those thigh muscles strong, because when you come to getting up and about and walking, they're the muscles that we rely upon. There we go. That's brilliant. So that's our second exercise, which was a static quads exercise. We're going to stay focused on the front of the thigh, and I'm going to use a big rolled up towel for this one. So this is an exercise we call inner range quads, very similar to the last one, but what I'm going to aim to try and do is straighten the knee, lift the heel off of the ground and pull the toes towards me. So I am still using my quads muscle with this one, but it's a slightly different one, but it's again very useful for when we're getting back to walking. So we'll do 30 seconds on one side and then 30 seconds on the other, just to save swapping the towel over. And I can bend the other leg just to take any strain off of my back. So ready, steady and go. And the reason that I hold and sustain that contraction for a few seconds is because we're trying to build muscle strength here. You can always put some music on in the background when you're doing this to make it more interesting. We're nearly at the half a minute point. There you go. Right, so swap over to the other leg, and it's the same again now. So again, here we go, and we're off. And I'm going to bring my other leg down just so you can see what's going on there. So we hold about 5 seconds and then down again. And hopefully you can feel that in your thigh muscles as you're doing this. There you go. That's good. Right, so that was our third exercise, which we call inner range quads. We're now going to go on and do some exercise for our muscles in our tummy and using our back. So this is what we call our core, these muscles here, and I want to do a little bit of a pelvic tilt. So what I'm going to try and do is draw my belly button in and just try and squash the small of my back into the bed there. So another good way of imagining it, if you think you had a Malteser on your tummy button that you were trying to roll towards your mouth, so there we go. I'm going to just tense up my tummy muscle, drawing it inwards and tilting that pelvis. So it's a bit like I'm pushing this arch of my back into the bed. So let me start the stopwatch and we'll get going. There we go, and we're off. And if you're struggling, even if you just draw those tummy muscles in and hold for a few seconds, that will still be beneficial. So the progression to this will be actually to lift the bottom off of the bed slightly, but we'll just focus on that pelvic tilt to begin with, and it's quite nice for getting your back moving as well. Our back can sometimes get quite stiff. There we go, so that's 30 seconds. If you're only doing 30 seconds, you can stop there, but for the whole minute, keep on going, and it will soon be there. Just a few more seconds. There we go, well done. So that was our fourth exercise, which is a pelvic tilt. We're now going to go on to do a Pilates exercise, which is the double leg stretch. It's an arm movement actually, so we're going to go up with the arms, make a circle and come back down again. I'm going to do that in laying, and what I'd suggest is that if you've got a bad shoulder or both your shoulders aren't great, then just do small circles, yeah? But if you're fine, it might be much bigger circles that you do there. So I'll demonstrate it in laying, and again we'll get that stopwatch started. So the movement I'm looking for is from the arms being up here, and what I'm going to do is draw my tummy muscles in slightly, and then big breath in, and then big breath out. Yeah. So again, draw my tummy muscles in, big breath in, and big breath out. and it might be that you just do a small circle there. So I'll start my stopwatch and we'll get going. And you work at your pace, yeah? You do the circle size that suits you, and it might be if you've got a bad arm on one side, you do a much smaller circle. And the way you could make it easier as well is just doing it with the arms bent, because effectively you've shortened the lever length when you do it that way. So I'll leave it down to you to adjust accordingly, and that's half a minute, guys. If you're just doing the half a minute, you can stop right there. So we combine that with breathing. It's helpful as well. So just starting to work those chest muscles and those shoulders. There you go. Okay, so we're going to now move on to doing some leg exercises. So we did some arm circles, and now we're going to do some alternate leg circles. So for half a minute, I'm going to practice doing a circle on one leg, and it might be you circle one way and then back the other. I'll leave that for you to decide. But if I start my stopwatch, so we start with both of our knees bent, I'm going to lift up one of my legs and start to make some circles one way, and then when you've gone around one way, reverse to the other, and you work at a pace and a size of circle that's right for you. Yeah, I'm doing 2 circles one way and 2 the other, and we're just going to do about 30 seconds on one side and then 30 seconds on the other. Nearly there, and you probably started to feel it working the muscles on the front of your thigh there. There we go, and back down. So swap over to the other leg now, and there we go, same again. So we're working the hip muscles, we're working some of the thigh muscles, and it's just getting those muscles challenging our heart and lungs a little bit as well. There's a little bit of a cardio element there. And you work within your own tolerance of these things, because what's important is that you're able to function for the rest of the day. We're just trying to gently get muscles slowly stronger. There we go. And that was our alternate leg circles. So now what we're going to do is another exercise in laying, where I'm going to practice reaching over one side and then reaching back to the other. So our back can sometimes get a bit stiff, and this is a nice way of working some muscles and also improving the mobility of our spine. So if I start the stopwatch, and so reaching over one side, back down again, and reaching over to the other side. So there might just be little taps that you're doing, or you might be stretching as far as you possibly can there. So we're going to be using some tummy muscles here, and it's quite a nice functional exercise as well, because this is going to help you with things like rolling over in the bed as well. Right, there we go, so we've done our half a minute already there, but the rest of you keep on going. You've probably got some more comfortable pillows than me, so you might have a bit more neck support. Just a few more seconds. There we go. That's it, guys. That's 1 minute of doing our alternate reaching to each side. So we're now going to go on to do a bridging exercise. We did a little bit of pelvic tilting earlier. We want to be more specific about getting our bottom muscles a bit stronger, and again, they're helpful for walking, they're helpful for getting out of the chair, they're helpful for moving around in the bed. So bring yourself into a position where you're laying down, feet about hip width apart. Again, and what we're going to try and do for this one, I'm going to clench my bottom muscles and try and peel my bottom off of the bed. So I'll get the stopwatch started and we're off. So for some of you, you might find that you're not even lifting your bottom off of the bed, and that's absolutely fine, but you as long as you can feel those bottom muscles are clenched and you're working them, you will still get benefit from this. I think sometimes because of having a soft mattress, you'll push down and you won't actually lift up at all. But if you can feel the muscles working, then you're fine. So we're nearly at half a minute there. There we go. So that's 30 seconds. So if you're doing the full minute though, carry on going. Now, one thing I would say is don't push too hard with this, because I've had some occasions where people have really tried to lift up as high as they possibly can and it's made their back a little bit sore. So even if you're just doing a little lift, that's absolutely fine. It's completely counterproductive if we do exercise and then just stir up a lot of problems that make us sore for the rest of the day. We're trying to get you stronger, get you more mobile, not give you more problems. There we go. So that's a minute of doing what we call bridging. I'm now going to roll onto my side to do another exercise for another bit of my bottom muscles. So the muscles on the side here, we can target more specifically by doing an exercise that we call the Clam. So my knees are bent, my heels are together, and what I'm going to do is slowly lift one knee out away from the other, but notice that my heels stay together. So we'll do half a minute on one side, and then we'll flip over and do half a minute on the other. And if you do Pilates, we'll often say, imagine you've got a drink balanced on your hips there, that you don't want to spill a drop. And that's where in the comments box you can write what your drink is and we'll add it to the Pilates mini bar. We're nearly there. There we go. So that's 30 seconds. So if you flip over to the other side, I'm going to go to the other end of my mat. And we'll do the same again. So here we go. So knees bent, heels together. I'll start the stopwatch and we're off. So it's not about how high you can go, it's about maintaining control with the exercise there. And again, that belt line there, it stays completely still. If you find that you're dropping backwards, then you're trying to go too far there. And you will be working these muscles around here, you'll hopefully feel. Nearly there, there you go. Well done. So that's 1 minute of the Clam. We've got one last exercise and it's one to target our tummy muscles, our obliques. So what we're going to do in laying, I'm going to bring my hand over towards the opposite knee, and in doing so it's going to use those oblique muscles. So I get myself back into that laying down position that we've been used as a start position. Here we go. So again, what I do, I take one hand and I'm going to try and slide it to the opposite knee, and then the same on the other side there. So I'll start my stopwatch and we'll get going. You might well have a bit of trembling going on here, because I certainly have. And if you find that's too much, then just go gentle. It might even be you just lift the shoulder off of the bed and don't even go near the knee. Right, so that's half a minute. For the rest of you, carry on going. So yeah, you can make it gentler if you leave the neck on the pillow and just do the movement with the hand towards the shoulder. But the slightly more challenging version is lifting the shoulder blade off of the bed. Again, you work to your level of ability. Well, there you go. That was step one of the Rehab Staircase. How did you find it? Was it okay? Did you survive all right? Hopefully you're feeling okay there. And if you found it was all right with 30 seconds, then maybe a few of those exercises you'll start to build towards a full minute. If you found that it was a bit of a challenge, stick with what's good for you and consolidate on that until you feel ready. And if you did the whole minute and it was easy, then move on to the next step. Go and do the step 2 exercises, which are all sat in a chair. So hope it was of use, and thanks for watching, and see you soon.